Hey guys, I'm Phil Town from Rule 1 Investing. Today I want to talk to you guys about this journey from just beginning something brand new like investing to the point of mastery. What's that journey look like? What's it feel like? And I want to talk to you about it in terms of horses because we've got a big horse farm here. And right outside there, we had a bunch of people watching an exhibition by one of our riders named Becky, who's an Olympian, rides for the U.S. Olympic team in what is called 3-day eventing. And Becky was out here showing off one of her horses, Courageous Comet, going through a bunch of jumps outside, like as if she was on an Olympic course. And I watched her as she brought her horse in a full gallop down around a corner, and then with no visible effort whatsoever, on her part, the horse just slowed down almost within a stride to a beautiful little canter, just like a little merry-go-round pony, and then jumped over this 4-foot obstacle. And then she went right back into a gallop. And when she came back all the way around, I said, I had a mic and I held it up to her and said, Becky, what, we all saw you do this change of the horse pace, and it didn't look like you did anything. You didn't pull back on the reins. What did you do to make the horse go so beautifully from this big gallop to this canter and then jump this obstacle? And she said, I don't know. I looked at her like, really? Seriously? She said, no, really, I don't know. I just think it, and he does it. And that is an expression of mastery. That's an expression of being so good at something that you no longer are thinking about it on a conscious level at all. It's just being communicated in a subconscious level. And she gets there, and any rider gets there going through a process, and any person going through any kind of new training. I mean, it could be learning how to snowboard. You can watch it with your children, learn how to ride a bike. You start off with a level of, let's just call it unconscious incompetence. Okay, you don't know anything, and you don't have any preconceptions about how to do anything right. And you don't know, so it's fun. I mean, you just, like on a snowboard, you're just falling down and having a good time on the hill. And then you start to learn. And the learning process takes you to the next level, which is conscious incompetence. Conscious incompetence, where you're trying to do a thing the way you think you're supposed to do it. You now learn something, right? And you're trying to do this thing, but you can't. You haven't got the skills there yet. Now, if you still persevere through this level, you arrive at what we'll call conscious competence. That is, you now are competent, but you have to be very aware of what you're doing. And so you have this process where you have to be very conscious of everything you're doing. I recently learned to drive a race car. I'm not very good, but I'm good enough to be out there consciously competent to race the race car, right? I have to be very, very focused and be very aware. So much so that if my team asks me what my fuel level is as I'm going down a straightaway with nothing to do except go straight, I can barely summon up enough brain power to push the red button so I can talk. Seriously, it's like so focused on every single moment there in that car. So I'm in a state of conscious competence. I can drive well, I'm not dangerous, but it certainly isn't at a high level. And so here we are with Becky at this level of incredible mastery, which is a state that you move to from conscious competence. After persevering along and continuing to learn, you become unconsciously competent. And that's mastery. And that's where Becky is with her horse. That's where the people who drive these Formula One race cars, the people who drive IMSA race cars, that's where they are. And with investing, you feel when you start coming through these levels that, wow, this is going to be really interesting. I'm going to learn this. And then you start to learn it and realize that while it's incredibly simple to be a good investor, and it really is, but to do it well, to do it at a high level, that's not easy. That requires time, it requires effort, and it requires training. And so as you start to step into this, you realize simple and easy aren't the same thing at all, right? And so you get into this state of conscious incompetence, which is a lot of people quit whatever they're doing right there, right? Because it's a little bit tough to kind of persevere through that time where it's uncomfortable. You really know that you don't know what you're doing. But if you stay with it, you get into this state of conscious competence. In investing, that's where you really do know all the things that take off. And the beauty, I guess, of investing, unlike horse riding or driving a race car, is it can happen as slow as you need it to happen. Which means that when you get to conscious competence as an investor, you can do a very, very professional job. You can really do it because you don't have to go fast. It's different than these other sports. It's a sport where you select the amount of time you need to make sure that you've consciously checked all the boxes and make sure you're doing the right thing. And then that evolves naturally enough into some form of mastery. It just does. It just means you've sped up the process to a place where it's just almost unconscious. You can be a fabulous investor when you start to reach that state of conscious competence. And the beauty of this is you can get there in 3 days. It doesn't take very long. There's a very small number of things you have to learn how to do. And if you do them carefully and do them slowly, you can be as good an investor as I am. So with that, think seriously about starting to move down that journey and move quickly through those stages of uncomfortable incompetence to a place where you can take care of your own self, your own money, your family's money, and create generational wealth for your kids. That's what we want for you. Thanks for watching, everybody. I hope you found this video helpful. For more tips and advice, join one of our upcoming workshops. They're linked in the description below, and I'll see you in the next video.